Day 30, Labor Day. As an entrepreneur, a new one, you don't have days off, so I did work on Labor Day. What did I do? Well, I'll put it this way, okay? I didn't do as much as I would have liked I would have done. Now, I can give myself the benefit of the doubt and say, it was Labor Day. You know, no one's in the office. I was the only one in the office. No one else was there. You know, everyone's just having a day off. It's no big deal. And maybe you're right about that. And maybe I am being too hard on myself like I keep saying I am. But I've always had this feeling of guilt. And guilt is one of the worst feelings that you can have in the back of my mind, where I always feel like I could keep doing more. With that being said, I've been talking with other agents in the office, and they've told me, everyone, that you're going to have those feelings of that you feel like you can do more. But really, you only have to do the necessary things to get the work done. So did I do the necessary things? Everything but prospecting. I don't know what is with me and not wanting to pick up the phone consistently. I need some sort of account. Like, Tyler's been my accountability buddy this entire time. And with that being said, you know, when I'm with him and I end up making calls, it feels nice because I get feedback from him. And sometimes I have that feeling where if I don't get that feedback, it sort of makes me feel a bit more nervous to call. With that being said, though, I still posted my Market Monday. I still upload it on TikTok. So I have a TikTok now. Posted my market updates on Instagram. So I did all my social media stuff perfectly. And I am hot as a rocket on social media. I think the biggest thing I need to work on there is overall presence. And so needing to make sure that I don't just post more, but I also post more creative content, post more stuff, boost whether or not I want to spend money on that. It just depends on my budget and really what I want to do there. And really just trying to get my name out there and making sure clients or potential clients look for my stuff and not just vendors and other agents, because that is most of my audience right now on Instagram, and family members, of course. Now, they still have meaning because I still have friends and family that watch my stuff, so it's never going to go out of style. But this is September 1st, okay? This is the start of a big, big, big month for me. I've made it a goal, and I wrote it up here. I need to make sure that I call 50 for sale by owners a week. So doing the math, that's about 10 for sale by owners every day. I haven't called any for sale by owners today, so I'm already behind. But that means I'll need to call 15 in one day, which if I go through Indianapolis, if I go through Greenwood, if I go through Johnson County, if I use my entire MyBore system, I should definitely find that. The goal is 200 calls. Now, if I do the math here, let me go ahead and grab my calculator. My contact rate is about 10%. All right, so if I get 10% of people to call, that's 20 contacts. And multiply that by 3, that's a lead. Wait a minute. So my conversion rate, if I call 200 people, I'll get 50 or I'll get 20 people to pick up the phone, which is a very low number. I reckon it'll be higher than this, but let's just put this for now. So I get 20 people picking up, 3 of those would turn in the leads. So I put in times 0.33, 6 leads out of 200 calls. Okay, so how many of those leads would actually turn into a client? Well, we could probably assume about 1/5 of those. So we'll do probably just about 1.5. All right, so that's about 4 appointments. Okay, that's a lie. It's about 2. Okay, so 2 clients, 2 appointments. Is that Siri talking to me? Hold on one second, guys. Siri, stop. Good grief. I don't know what was going on. Siri just acting dumb, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, sorry about that. Essentially, if I call 200 for sale by owners, I'll likely have 1 client appointment. And most of those will convert into a listing. Again, I have no issue generating leads. My biggest thing I need to focus on is lead follow-up. My lead follow-up has not been up to standard, and really, it also is just something I'm going to have to continue to stick to because I'm contacting these people, okay? The people I met in Cicero, for example, the for sale by owner I called the other day, who was interested in looking for their next home. They haven't responded back to me in a while, but I'm making sure I'm continuing to follow up with them. So I sent them both a quick picture that said Happy Labor Day, and I said, hi, blank, have a great Labor Day weekend, or hope you're having a great Labor Day weekend. So I'm able to get all that stuff done, which is great. So my goal is to just continue to talk with them and build a relationship with them, send them emails, whatever they would like to do. But I think tomorrow, Tyler and I should have a talk about the lead follow-up, because I think that really is going to be the main factor here. So my goal also is to host 8 open houses this month. So this weekend, I should be able to host 2 open houses, and then next week 2, next week 2, next week 2. Now, with that being said, my twin brother is coming to Indiana at the end of September, so I need to make sure I plan that accordingly, because I want to spend my time with my brother, but also be able to work. So I got to make sure I hit all these numbers, but just understand that my twin brother is going to come on the 24th, and I'll have about 6 days of not really doing a whole lot. So I'm going to have to make sure I get all this work done, okay? First day of Bold is also in September. So I plan to do Bold, which Bold is a training camp for real estate agents. It's promoted by Keller Williams. It costs $800 to join. I'm applying for a scholarship, so hopefully I can go in for free. If I can go in for free, that'd be great. If not, then I probably can't go. With that being said, though, I think it'd be a really great way for me to learn and fast-track my level to success. Now, throughout this journey, I've been having doubts because of the feeling that I can be doing more. And if it really is that feeling of, a lot of entrepreneurs feel that way, and they end up being fine at the end of the day, then maybe I am doing good just by showing up, by doing the necessary things, and maybe stumbling every now and then. Now, that's really what I wanted to talk about in this video. I didn't really want to make this a first month reflection video, but it's important to understand where I stand. Where I stand right now is I need to generate leads and go through lead follow-up. My first month did not have enough lead follow-up. Plenty of leads, just not enough lead follow-up. Now, I keep saying it in this video because it's the only thing I can think about right now. Because social media, I'm improving on that. Calling for sale by owners, I finally started picking up the phone. Not as much as I would like, but we're going to work on that. Lead follow-up, huge, because that's how you actually convert leads into clients. Also, I want to attend at least 4 local events in the area. So I want to attend maybe a farmer's market, to attend some sort of public meetings. I know that there's a realtor day in Indianapolis, I believe is where it is, and I think that's on the 10th. So sometime next week we'll have a realtor meeting for Central Indiana. So that'll be interesting to go ahead and meet people there. Real estate investing seminars, I would like to go ahead and do that. Meeting up with other types of professionals, and maybe keep going to church. I did 2 virtual churches to see which one I liked better and seeing which one I want to go to in person, and I already found one, which is great. So church on Sunday is the move. Okay. Going back to what I'm saying. This is kind of a short video right now, but I kind of feel like I should talk a little bit more. I thought of something interesting I want to talk to you guys about. I keep talking about the importance of lead follow-up, but how am I actually going to follow up with them? It's so easy for me to say, I got to follow up, but how do I do that? I have an 8x8 database system. I put that in my sphere of influence. For sell by owners, it's a little bit different. If I get a gauge on if they're a hot lead, warm lead, or cold lead, I will plan it accordingly. So if they're a cold lead, and let's say their listing just hit the market on Zillow, and they've only been on the market for like 2 days, most of the time, they're not going to want to work with a realtor, period. Okay, thankfully enough, last week I got lucky and met with a guy who listed his home, was on the market for over 90 days, and finally got it sold, but it was well below the price that he wanted. And so he's open to having an agent now. Huge deal. So I made sure I followed up with him, told him Happy Labor Day. Didn't hear back from him. That's okay. We're going to continue to keep following up with this guy. That to me is a hot lead, because he mentioned even, I want to work, I want to find a home. My wife and I are looking. There you go. So emails, okay. First thing I'll do is an initial text after our call. And then slowly but surely, I'll send them market data, market insights through emails. I haven't developed this campaign yet, so it's something I'm going to have to do on my CRM tomorrow, which, as a matter of fact, let me go ahead and write that down. Crumbled up piece of paper. Email campaign. I love to collect really nice pens. So I'm glad I have all these, like, really, like, look at that. Like, blue ink, it presses on the paper so well. I even have a fountain pen. It's really cool. One of my friends from my leasing job gave it to me. Anyways, that's something I'm going to have to work on. So thankfully enough, I have that time blocked. And so I think the big guilt for me is just not prospecting enough and not lead following up enough. My lead follow-up almost virtually does not exist with open houses, which is tough. That's also a thing I need to work on. Again, I could be talking about this for 3 hours, 300 hours, but I know what I need to do. It's lead follow-up. That literally is the thing I need to work on. And I genuinely believe, that if I can go ahead and figure out this lead follow-up system and actually stick through it, I'll be fine. I will likely have multiple clients by the end of the month if I do this. Now, with that being said, I got to put in the work and have the accountability. That's why I'm glad I'm working with Tyler right now, because he has been a great accountability partner. He wants me in the office by 8:10. We practice my role play a little bit, and then we get on them and start pounding the phone. Genuinely, like I keep saying, one of my favorite guys to work with. Just because he's like genuinely coaching me for free. Like, he doesn't even ask for money or anything like that, which he could. But I think he just genuinely wants to help me out. And I always appreciate generosity and authenticity with people who really do just want to help. And I would love to get there one day. Now, plan moving forward. If I don't end up working with any clients or getting close to a closing by November, I have to look for a full-time job. Now, there's multiple routes I could do this. I could donate plasma, which can give you hundreds of dollars per donation, probably like $150 to $200. I could DoorDash, which would help me learn the area better. Westfield isn't that hard to drive in. I've DoorDashed in Bloomington, much worse. Obviously, I would never go near Indianapolis. So I could do those two things. Or, very last resort, I actually start looking for a real job. And I just tell one of the people in my network that I need to find a salaried-based job that's relevant to real estate. I'll find something there. I don't want to get to that point, though. And I don't think we will. And no one's really told me that I will likely have to go that route. Everyone in the office is telling me that I'm going to be just fine. So I better believe them if that's going to be the case, right? Tomorrow, what are we doing? Okay, so again, meeting up at 8:10 with Tyler. We're going to work on my for sale by owners. I'm calling 15. I really need to call at least 10, but let's do 15. And we can do Johnson County. We can do Boone County. We can do Hamilton. Like, we don't have to just do Westfield and Hamilton County. We can go everywhere. And Central Indiana, really, I've lived in for almost my entire life, right? So I'm pretty accustomed to that. With that being said, 15 would be great. If I can get 15, that's perfect. That'll likely take more than 2 hours, which is okay. On my business plan, I made sure that I had the authenticity to prospect 2 hours a day. So that'll literally be from 8 to 10, and then that's my prospecting. And then by the end of the day, I spend an hour doing lead follow-up. That's just how it's going to be. So I'll do my cold calling until about 10. After that, I'll go ahead and do my MLS hot sheets, put that stuff in there. Afterwards, after my lunch break, I'm going to make scripts for my new video on if it's a good time to buy. Clearly, the answer to that is it's always a great time to buy because the market's always changing and prices are always going to go up. And ultimately, it depends on what you value and what you can afford. There's always a great time to buy, right? With that being said, though, I'll end up doing that, lead follow-up, and then I'll start working on the next day and strategizing on what I want to do. And then we're going to keep doing that. I have a blueprint for September. It's written on my business plan. So as long as I keep reviewing that every morning and knowing exactly what I need to do, it's very important. I had one gentleman in the office tell me that reading your business plan every morning isn't good because you need to go out and talk to people. He's right about that. Although reading your business plan, I would like to think is very important because it's the thing that helps you stay on track. But he's right about going out and talking with people, hence why I'm making it more of an effort to get out of the office and start talking to people, which good thing is, I'm going to church next week, and I'm also meeting up with people, builders and stuff like that, to host open house tours, not open house tours, but to host videos of their model builds. So I'll give you guys an update tomorrow, but until then, I'll see you guys Tuesday morning, Tuesday night. It feels like a Sunday, doesn't it? All right, see you guys tomorrow.